but there is something else I want to share with you today. You see, it's actually about love. Love is a subject that I speak about and I share on a lot, because love is what we are and love is everywhere, and I consider this to be something that we need to be very consciously focused on in terms of our day, every day, because from love everything that's positive and high vibrational and high frequency actually stems. So that's subject that I want to share and talk with you for a second today. Hello Ruth. Hi Claire. Claire Bear, so nice to see you, my love. It's not going to be a long life, but I want to talk to you about something that has been coming up for my attention, and please bear with me. I'm going to drink my coffee that I haven't had a chance to drink on my trip to work. So twin flames and divine union between your principles, female and male principle within. And then when you finally get to this beautiful point, when you have achieved union within, when you are blessed with the knowledge, understanding, and a counterpart that you are fully aware is actually very much so recognized in terms of your soul's recognition. And then what happens? What happens next? So my darlings, hello Sky. So Sky Blue, so beautiful to have you here. Intuitive James, hello James, how are you? Hi my sweetheart, how are you? So there is so much information out there which I wasn't aware of actually, and this is why I want to talk to you about all the information out there, let's say out there on YouTube, perhaps in books. I haven't found one yet, but frankly speaking I wasn't looking, and I want to share with you that I am not going to look for a book about twin flames counterparts coming to union within yourself in terms of the divine union between your principles, male and female principle. And there is a reason why, and the reason I'm going to share with you. It gives me proper anxiety. Reading and listening to people talk about twin unions and finding the divine counterpart gives me actual physical body reaction and anxiety. And I actually feel that it's so important that someone will put that out there, and it happens to be that I'm guided to share this with you, and it completely may go up against the grain, but I'm used to going against the grain. It's just part of my soul's mission, and that's actually part of me speaking authentically from my heart and from my soul. So you see, like with everything, when you embark on your ascension journey, there is a decision perhaps for some of us to embark on a session journey. I actually feel that a session happens for us, awakening happens for us. We don't necessarily decide that as of Monday 9 a.m. I'm going to embark on a session journey, or as of Monday 9 a.m. I'm stepping my divine union, or as of Monday 9 a.m. I'm going to be, pursuing my divine counterpart, my twin flame. I think God is so much more clever, if I can put it this way, than that. And yes, we have a free will. We can decide on a lot of matters in our life. But actually, there is this element of divine timing that we do not control. I do not believe we control our ascension. I think we open up, and when we are ready in terms of our soul, it happens for us. It doesn't happen to us. It happens for us. So let's come back to what I want to share with you, and this is my perspective. And I don't apologize for this, because at the end of the day, like with anything in life, we are free, sovereign, and we can decide, right? We can decide whether something aligns with us or not. We feel a resonance, energetic resonance, deeply through our heart. With our soul, we feel resonance to energy, information, guidance, etc., right? We can decide whether we want to follow or not. We can decide whether we want to follow the guidance from God. And when we awaken, when this intuitive moment happens for you and it really lands, the awakening happens to you, for you, we can decide if we are brave to undertake the work in order to walk our path of ascension, or we can decide to crumble. We can decide to crumble and say, well, no, it's too hard. I don't want to do the inner work. I'm not prepared to put myself through facing my so-called demons. I'm not prepared, or maybe sometimes we are just not yet ready, because there is always the element of divine timing. And when it comes to divine counterparts, so-called twin flames, right? I was driving today to work and I was feeling this anger growing in me, and you may feel me today, this anger growing in me, and thinking, who is teaching this crap? Who is actually putting it out there? What is it, that freaking notion about twin flames? Where is it coming from? Who has put that out there? Why is it became so freaking fashionable to be looking for your twin flame? What about actually looking for yourself? What about finding yourself? What about finding that twin flame within you? What about starting from you and focusing on yourself? And I was just getting angry and angry and angry and angry. And actually I was getting angry with myself. So I need to give myself grace, because I find myself in this thought process when I was thinking, God, you're challenging me again to step deeper in my healing, because I know that when that inner anger grows within me, it's a call for alchemy, my soul alchemy. But I'm sharing this with you guys because I want to be authentically honest with you that I am right now in my phase of anger with myself, not with God, with myself, that I allowed myself to step away from God's guidance, that I started and got sucked into this famous freaking theory of twin flames. Why do I do this to myself? Why do you do this to yourself? Why don't we just step a little bit back and look at ourselves, within ourselves, and for connection with God to guide us to all the necessary information? Who is supposed to tell you, who is supposed to tell me that what I feel for another human is love? Who is supposed to tell me, and who is supposed to tell me that I'm entering the phase of chaser and a runner? What the heck? Who is supposed to tell you, my love, that the dynamic in the relationship you have is a twin flame dynamic? Who is supposed to tell you this? You need to know it from within your heart, in connection with your point of reference, which is the only point of reference you should really truly have at any given moment in your life, which is God. Not Mrs. Specialist of Twin Flames, because she's in harmonic union right now, because that Mrs. or Mr. had their own journey. That was their journey, their trip of the lifetime. And I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly, this is me being so excited and my passion is coming through probably. And yes, I will tell you this, I will take a step back. I will go in meditation. I will ask God to show me and tell me, why is it frustrating me so much? Why do I feel again this, I feel like it's a sacred anger. It's stripping another layer of something that's so artificial and not real, which is teachings from other people. The only real teaching that I want to have in my life is God. And I want to be able, and sometimes like now, I can catch myself that I got sucked into watching some YouTube videos, and all I felt was frustration and anxiety, because I was thinking, why am I listening to this crap myself? Why am I listening to these people telling me that you need to set the boundaries because someone can breadcrumb you, for example? But what is it? What is it really in reality? What is it when people give you breadcrumbs? When you talk about divine love, when you talk about your divine counterpart, when you talk about part of your own soul, what is it really? And how does it relate to the unconditional love then? When you are meant to have no expectation, when you are meant to love someone without condition and any element of control, when you are meant to just let people be on their own path and have their own soul's journey, even though it's part of your own soul, when you are, as I understand from the freedom teachings, right, part of one God's individualization, when you are born, incarnate, and when you come to this existence with, actually, for some of us guys, number of twin flames, and you can have a twin flame on every dimension of your existence. Why do we hang so hard on the words twin flame rather than going in and understanding what divine love and unconditional love is, that it's supposed to teach us exactly that? So when you have that unconditional love, how can you think about breadcrumbing anybody? How can you impose any expectation on it? How can you not just be in that which is flow, in actual connection with God, allowing you to guide you the way God guides you when you seek that divine union with God within, first and foremost. And then you seek this divine union to bring the union, the Heros Gamos within yourself, for your divine feminine and masculine principle within. And then, my love, from there, if you're blessed enough to meet that beautiful counterpart in your life, why do we have so much crap online for people who maybe, yes, very much so went through their own journey, but it's their soul's journey? Am I challenging myself right now? I feel I am. And why I'm sharing all this with you? Because I want to give you food for thought. And perhaps it may resonate with some of you who are actually challenging yourself and seeking confirmation, affirmation, and guidance from within you, from the God seat and connection with God, rather than, like I did to myself, give yourself anxiety and overthinking, overanalyzing, and giving away your power, again in such a subtle undertone, when you go and you start looking at all these people telling you how the twin flame journey should look, and actually how it looks. I know that when I post this video, I don't mind. I genuinely don't mind anybody commenting and saying you are full of doo-doo. Do you know, I would love to remain the way I am through all my life on this planet, constantly seeking, understanding where I am actually myself coming from, understanding that when I feel this anger, it's coming and calling for something, it's calling for resolution. But you see, that anger doesn't take me away from God, it brings me back. So what I would say to you, look at yourself carefully. Look at your emotions, behavior, responses to everything you consume. Whether you read, whether you listen, whether you just seek, whether you have this ache within, which I feel right now. Whether you have this ache within for understanding, look within and don't judge yourself. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to doubt. It's okay to say that you are pissed off. Because I feel actually right now so much emotion within me and I want to understand, but I can't meditate right now. I need to go and work. But I will be sitting with God today and I will be seeking that guidance. Why am I so triggered by all these people on YouTube talking about twin flames? Is it something that is just for me? Or is it something that's actually so much deeper, so much deeper? Because I am sure it will take me more closer to my connection with God. I am sure it will show me the way forward. And I am sure that it will also teach me about love even more. Because like everybody else, the dynamic between you and your twin flame, although I also think, and that is something that not many people talk about, I feel the twin flame doesn't have to be your actual gender opposing person that you meet in your life. I feel that it can be someone who may be even the same sex. And I don't mean about any, relationship in terms of intimacy. I actually feel that you don't have to come to physical union with your twin flames, and sometimes that's probably what happens in real life. And I don't know if it's because some of them chicken out and just don't want to do the work. But would that still change your unconditional love? I don't think it would. And again, I'm just talking from how I feel and what I receive, but it's my guidance. It's something that I sit and I will consider more, and I may share with you as well, because I'm sharing with you exactly this. I feel anger today. I feel a little bit angry with myself for allowing myself to step away from God and that guidance and seeking something from people that are on their own individual path. It's not my path. It's not my soul. It's not teaching for me, because it's not the teaching I received from God. Why did I allow myself to go? And I started thinking yesterday, well, how does it fit with what is happening around me? Because if I was to follow on certain advice, I should just take a massive step back and just basically shut down. And then I heard this little note in my head. But how is it truly an unconditional love? How can you express love to someone if you're putting expectation on them? How often should they talk to you? How often should they message you? How quickly should they step in the understanding that you, on your own soul's evolution, your own individualized soul's evolution, are, and how long shall you give them to catch up with you? Because how I feel about the journey of finding your counterpart and coming to union in a physical world, I feel that the divine love, the unconditional love, allows people to find themselves first and foremost. And when that soul's recognitions happen, you still allow people to be individuals within that kind of dynamic and relationship. And it's so important that you do not propose, you don't put any conditions, that you don't put any expectations. And perhaps that's the most important realization, that you just go with all that you know before you come to that physical union. You go with everything that you know already about your inner union within. I don't think expectation, I don't think you can talk even about breadcrumbing someone when you talk about unconditional love. I just don't feel like all these concepts, the words, are sitting well with me. And I want to make sure that I resonate. I listen to my own soul and don't buy into the mainstream teachings. That's how I feel about it. Thank you for those gifts, guys. I am so grateful. And thank you for putting up with me today, because you see, Miss Galactic High Priestess is teaching a lot about so many things, right? But I also have been speaking and been vocal about Divine Union, Heros Gamo's journey that I embarked on myself. And I was very vocal about the Divine Union journey with God and within myself. And I truly feel that when you come to this point in your soul's recognition, that you know you found the counterpart in your actual physical world, that you don't fall back into conditions, that you don't fall back into old patterns. What I can tell you for sure, that God, I believe, works in a very beautiful way and a very magical way as well. And I know that me feeling the anger, upset and triggers with all the information that I allowed myself to watch yesterday is another soul's lesson for me. Another call to come back to myself. Another call from God to come back to the God within. To stop seeking something that I feel I must have felt that I can't find within. I don't need that. That's the beauty of how God works. God will show us at any given time what we need to see. And sometimes it is uncomfortable. And sometimes it requires a little bit of self-reflection and understanding that regardless of any level and actually element or stage in your ascension journey, you will be shown something always that is another layer for healing, that is another part of your soul that requires you to reclaim. So for me, my loves today, alchemy work. That will be my evening today. And can I also tell you, I feel deeply in my heart that we need to talk to each other about our experiences. So I also want to give place for all these people. I said why people talk so much crap on YouTube about teachings of certain things, like, you know, I'm in a container. I was in many containers myself when I was going through my own awakening. I was seeking information. I was seeking teachings. So please, my love, if you're a teacher on YouTube and you're teaching about Divine Union, that aligns with your soul. I'm not saying that this is something you shouldn't be doing. This is your journey. This is your journey and this is mine. And I'm sharing with my beautiful community, those people who are tuning into me right now and want to listen to me expressing my soul's opinion. That's me, and you are doing you, and good, because we need to be doing this. However, the discernment is mine, and I can decide for yourself whether I want to listen to you or not, as much as you can decide whether you want to listen to me or not. And if it resonates with your soul, if it strikes the chord, if it just gives you a little food for thought, good, because you, my love, and I thank you for it, have given me food for thought as well. So I'm grateful. How would I know that God is calling me to do more work? That God is now asking me to look into my anger and my own triggers? Why the teachings of other people about twin flames are really upsetting me so much? Why do I feel this anger for allowing myself to fall into this rabbit hole of listening to how the Divine Flame Union should unfold? What is the path for the Divine Union? Who is here really truly to tell me what's right for my soul? God. And that's it. And I don't need And that's my understanding and my discernment. I don't need to listen to the guru, another guru, telling me how to, for example, activate my Kundalini. Because God has done this for me in the divine timing when I was ready, when I have done enough work. And who is supposed to tell me, right? Another guru, master, teacher, to tell me that 3 months from now, you're going to meet this guy and it's going to be your twin flame and it's going to be, you will just ride into the sunset. No, my loves. No. You need to stop, pause, and always drop into one certain place, which is your heart and your connection with God. All certainty and all discernment is exactly there. It's not with Mrs. X and Mr. Y, who are having 6 million followers on YouTube. That's not where your discernment is. That's not where your inner knowing is. That's where it is. And I share this with you. I share this with you. And yes, my loves, it's going to be a beautiful Monday. I always say, have a beautiful day and make that day beautiful, because we are creators at the end of the day. And something else is coming through. Have a little, DW, love you, sister. Have a little thought for a moment about where you're giving your power away, to whom you're giving your power away. Have a little think about this. Wherever you are on your soul's journey, on your ascension journey, just pause for a second and think about where are you giving your power away. And yeah, I'm grateful that God has shown me. And it took frustration, anger, frustration, triggers to understand that I'm receiving another call back home, to come home to myself, to God. And not think about the prescribed steps on my own Hero's Gamma's journey. That if I feel that I have an impulse, if I feel in my heart that I want to say to you how much I love you, I want to be able to do that without thinking whether you are male or female. I don't want to be thinking about how you will understand this because you like, I don't know, my eyes, or you like my lipstick and whether it will give you a giggle, or just, I don't want to be thinking about this. I want to be feeling that I'm authentically expressing myself all the time, and this is what I'm doing. And yes, that's how we should be at any given time, with all the truth that we live. And you know, if, as I said, one mentor will think that is my truth and I believe in it, because, for example, I believe in Law of One. I believe in the freedom teachings. It resonates with my soul, so I can be vocal as much as I want and advocate as much as I want. And the discernment will be with you, whether it actually resonates with your soul or not. You will listen and tune in. And if it doesn't, you will scroll off and clock off. And that's okay. The thing here is that we have a choice. We have a choice. We have free will, and we can understand by measuring everything with the one true barometer within us that we were born with, within our heart, the divine connection to God. That's where we should be measuring everything that comes to us. Doesn't matter what beautiful eyes it has and how beautiful the lipstick may be. I'm making a joke of myself now. But that's exactly the point. Because guys, the low frequency, this deception comes in the most beautiful way, and packed very often in glamour and glitz, in light as well. And light is light, right? Light is light, but you need to know how to discern whether it's light and love, or whether it's a false light and no love. So yes, my loves, that's me. The rant is over. Rant at myself, telling off myself for dropping in a very, very tricky space, which was giving power away to someone trying to tell me that I now need to take control because... And it was playing on all insecurities. It was actually playing on everything that is coming now for healing. All the wounds, insecurities, unworthiness. Well, if he is not responding to my messages, why am I bother? Just walk away. No, that's not unconditional love. That's not unconditional love. Because that's expectation, and there is need for us to understand truly. And I think that the only way we can truly understand how we can externalize love is when we fully understand how we first and foremost, internalize the love towards ourselves. Because very often we are such a harsh judges to ourselves. We put so many expectations unrealistically very often onto ourselves, right? And that, guys, is not self-love. This is programming. This is just singing from the very old ham sheet that we all have installed as a distortion within us from the moment we come to this world. So we need to be vigilant and catch ourselves every time, and measure those triggers, and anything that we do, listen, see, read against the one true. I call it barometer, but it's like a north, your compass, your inner compass. There is no chance to be decepted, to step into deception when you truly are connecting with your inner, with God within you. When you connect and go through your heart space, you won't be decepted, because the false light cannot withstand the truth, the God's light. It transmutes everything. So you will be shown, and it will be illuminated to you. So that's exactly, I'm sharing with you, my loves, how I'm going to do it today. I'm going to sit in meditation, give myself grace, and ask God to first of all hold me for a moment in unconditional love, so I can feel it. I can feel it again. And I will then ask God to show me, why did I allow myself to go into this rabbit hole yesterday, watching all these videos about twin flames? What made me doubt myself and my connection with God? And perhaps, just perhaps, the reason why it happened is that I can possibly talk to you about this today. So I can give you a food for thought as well, because God works in magical ways. And yeah, we are not always, our journey is not all easy. Sometimes we take a step back in order to make 3 steps forward. And it's okay to understand that. And always, somehow, like there's this saying, all the roads lead to Rome. Somehow, I know in my heart that everything leads back to God. Everything leads back to our inner knowing. Everything that happens in our life. We cannot pour into somebody else if we don't pour enough into ourselves. And I have yesterday given that power away to something else, thinking that someone can tell me and show me how to be, how to show love, how to show for my divine counterpart. No, my loves, no. There's no more giving power away. I would love you to, as I said, have a think about to what and to whom you may be giving your power away. Have a little think about that today. And yeah, have a beautiful day. I love you so much. Thank you for listening.